Hello everyone, here I am offering you another tutorial, and this time I would like to show you how I made this nice, pretty cute shirt using sublimation. Okay, once again I would like to share what has worked for me, what materials I use, and the technique that it just stays there, colors nice and vivid. It doesn't wash off that easily, after wash it and wash it and wash it, it just stays there. So come with me and I can't wait to show you how I made this cute, amazing shirt. Okay, everyone, I'm here with Word document or Word open, and I have my document ready. And the first thing that I'm going to be doing is to bring my PNG. Anything that you need to print as images, the best way of doing it is a PNG file, okay? So I'm gonna bring my document right here on my PNG file. And the first thing that I'm going to do before I do any sizing, before I do anything, is to make sure that I can move it around. What do? I click on it, I go to layout, and then I go to wrap text, and then I click on in front text. And that way I can move it up and down and side to side. Okay. And then I'm gonna just move it like this so I can print it like this. The next step is to size it. Okay, I'm gonna click on this and I'm gonna show you one little trick. If you want to know your sizes, but you say, oh no, this is too small, this is too big, how can I make it bigger or smaller? This on picture format, you click on that and then you go all the way to the right. And here is gonna show you the size of your image. Now, if you say 1027 is too small, I want it a little bit bigger. If you click on here, okay, if you click on this, the image is gonna be bigger in proportion. So if I'm gonna click here, the image is going to be smaller in proportion. However, if you say, well, what can I do? Because I want this to be 10, for example, but I don't want this side to be 1072. One thing that you can do once you have it here is just grab it by one of the dots right there, and you can make it be as big as you want, okay, like that, and smaller as you want. But if you do it here, the image is gonna be sizing in proportion. What do I mean? That is gonna be sizing bigger or smaller all over the image. If you wanted that, then that is good. This is the way to do it right here. If you wanted, for example, in this case, that I want my image to be about 10 and a half right here, all right, almost close to 11, but I don't want this to be any longer here. So what do? I'm just gonna make it smaller here. With some images, you can do that. With some other images, you cannot do that. Okay, as I was telling you right here, some of the images, you can easily adjust your sizing right here. But if you say, no, I don't want to do that, I want to do it right here, as I was telling you, some of the images you can. However, you can, but some other images you're not going to be able to do it because the size is, if you make it smaller or bigger, once you affect the size, then some images are going to be not looking good. Let's just say that it's gonna look too thin or too fat or too big, too tall or too short. So it all depends on what image you're working on, okay? In this case, this image, if I want it like this, then it's not that bad because it gives me some freedom and it allows me in a way to play with it a little bit without the image to be affected. All right, so now I have my image right here, and I'm gonna just make sure that I have the sizes that I need or want. Like in this case, it's almost 11 here. I'm gonna just make it a little bit smaller right here, and I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller here in a way that is about 10.5 by 10.5. And I'm gonna look, this one is almost 1077, so I don't want it that big. Probably I'm gonna do 10.6, a little bit, and this one right here, I'm gonna do a little bit 10 and a half. 1075 is giving me, so I'm gonna just do it a little bit smaller here. Okay, so now my next step is to send it to the printer. And what I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna go to print, and I'm gonna select my printer, which is the Epson, and I'm gonna show you my my settings right here. I have presentation paper matte, Super B, I'm gonna do the tray, and then I'm gonna do my choices right here, more options. I'm gonna do mirror. I'm gonna do my maintenance right here, and I'm gonna have 7. You can do 6, 7. It's not really that doesn't really change it, but I usually do 6 or 7. But one thing though, you want to make sure that it matches all the time here and on the other one. I do saturation 3, and I do contrast 4 and brightness 3. That's what I do. Okay, so now let's print, and you're just gonna get this. Just say yes. And it's just telling me that I need to change the maintenance box. Okay, I have my print right here, and my next step is to set up my shirt in a way to make sure for my sublimation print to get the best results. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I have a shirt from Silky Socks. As you can see, it's XL. And I love Silky Socks because even though it's polyester, as you know, we need polyester for our sublimation. It does not feel like polyester. It feels nice and cozy, just like cotton. So what I'm going to do here is get rid of the humidity, get rid of the wrinkles, and also, make sure that I press it really, really well, pass the linen roller, and put it to the press. So I have 2 pieces of butcher paper. And the reason is because I'm going to be placing one in the center or in the middle of my shirt. That way my ink, oh, sorry about that. That way my ink does not go through. I just do that to protect my shirt in the ink from going to places where I don't want it. You might be able to get away with it, but I just do it to protect that. In this case, it might not be that noticeable because as you can see, I have the paint under. So it might not be as noticeable, but I just still don't want ink to go through. So for me to avoid that, I'm going to place this in the middle. Okay, I have my heat press set up at 400 degrees. I'm gonna place my image and I'm gonna eyeball it here because this is gonna be just, I'm gonna make sure, let me bring the camera a little bit, that way you can see. I'm gonna have it right here, 4 fingers down. Okay, 4 fingers. I'm not using the guide right now, but I just want to show you that you don't need those guides. Okay, just with your fingers, just kind of put your 4 fingers from the neck and when put your image where the image starts. I should say put your print where the image starts. In this case, my print starts right at the beginning, so I'm not worrying about the margin that sometimes some images have. And then if you start like putting your image and there is a margin, then your image is gonna be too low. So you kind of be mindful about that. So in this case, I'm not worrying about my image starting lower or being higher. In this case, I'm just gonna start and place my image right there because that's where my image starts. I'm gonna do some tape, heat tape, to secure it. Great, so now that I have secured my image around, I'm gonna do my butcher paper and I'm gonna close it nice and flat. I'm closing it. I try to, if you can, depending on the images and depending on your seam, sometimes it's best not to include the seam. In this case, I have to do that because it's not long enough. So what I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it for 55 seconds. And it's gonna start beeping in a second, 3 seconds, and I'm gonna open it. Okay, and let's see what we got. Great, so now that I have secured my image around, I'm gonna do my butcher paper and I'm gonna close it nice and flat. I'm closing it. I try to, if you can, depending on the images and depending on your seam, sometimes it's best not to include the seam. In this case, I have to do that because it's not long enough. So what I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it for 55 seconds. And it's gonna start beeping in a second, 3 seconds, and I'm gonna open it. Okay, and let's see what we got. Okay, I use my gloves just because I don't want not to see it or not to be able to open it because the shirt is hot. So what I'm gonna do right here, I'm just gonna open my paper and just carefully just take a peek and see what we got here. If I can, right? And I can tell you it's looking good. And I absolutely love it. So pretty. Colors are amazing. And let me turn it around and not turn it around. And nothing inside and nothing in the back. As you can see, this one is just a little fuss. Nothing in the back and nothing on my back. Nothing on the back, as you can see. So by putting this piece of sublimation butcher paper, not sublimation, butcher paper in the middle of your shirt, is gonna help it not to go through the back, okay? Because we have polyester, so polyester is going to absorb whatever it gets, you know, as far as sublimation. Okay, our sublimation ink looks amazing on this shirt. Once again, the colors are great. And I just think that the camera doesn't do it justice just to see how vivid and how nice the colors are.